Hello, ESL 132 students. I promised you some YouTube videos, so this is the first one for you, and it's really the first one I've ever made in my life. So I do have a whiteboard in my office. Believe it or not, I do have a whiteboard. So I will be putting some things up here as we do the class. But I wanted to go over some first things. Your Canvas website has pretty much everything that you need. If you click on syllabus, it has the hot links to the exercises and the answers, and hot links to the website to listen to the readings. It also has videos. Now, videos are in my ELT. If you don't have my ELT, some of you didn't buy that code, you can contact me if you want to buy it, but you can also Google National Geographic, and most of the time they'll just have that online for you anyway from the title. So submitting homework, you just click on the assignments and the homework, and then submit assignment at the top. A box appears at the bottom. You put your homework into the box, and you click on submit assignment again, and that will go to me, and I will comment and put a grade. And I also put a grade in my paper grade book, so I have a backup at all times. So this is how we'll be doing things for a couple of weeks apparently. I will make another YouTube video for you a little bit later in the week, but I did want to go through some concepts in Chapter 6. Chapter 6 was a difficult one. It had all the graphs in there and things that I really love to talk about, but we'll have to do it this way. So before we do a little bit of pronunciation on vocabulary, let's just do some key concepts. So up here, they'll talk about GNP, that's called Gross National Product, and that's how much goods and services a country has per year. So they were going to have graphs showing different things in that chapter. The colors. So green to us in the United States and some other cultures means good. So it means healthy, right? It's the green fuel, right? Green energy. It's also, if you're making money, it's in the green. So it's usually good. When you're driving, remember the green light is to go. But other cultures, the red light is good. So in Chinese cultures, for example, red is good. You know, red envelopes people get at certain holidays with money, that's very good. So the colors can mean a very big difference to different cultures. I wrote this like this because in English we call from left to right, but in some cultures it's from right to left, as you know, because some of you speak Arabic, you know about that. Or some cultures write up down like this. On page 123, I'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, so these are some cultures we're going to be studying, concepts of colors and numbers. I'm actually looking at your book here. I'd like to go over pronunciation of the vocabulary words, and then you can fill them in and you'll figure out if they're used as nouns or adjectives or verbs, what they're doing. So this is from page 126. So go ahead and pause, get your book, open up to 126. Ready, go. Objective, vision, deliberately, misleading, downside, neutral, faulty. Misleading, when you add remember mistake, something's wrong, mistook, misunderstand, right? So miss means there's some problem with that. Downside, like that, but there's also a word called upside. So those are the vocabulary words. The first reading, and you can listen to this, is the rise of visual data, and they'll be showing you temperatures from the time that they've been able to really measure them. And then they'll be showing you things, for example, graphs that are good information, but then sometimes they can be bad information. They can be misleading. And there's an article about sports people, athletes, and appearing in magazines. So that's a little misleading. On page 129, we have two drugs. It looks as if drug A is so good, it's way up in the green. Drug B is a little black, but it's really not that much difference. But the graph makes you think it is when you look at it. Then we have something on page 131 about the gross national product of different times. There's more vocabulary words on page 131. I will say them. Credible, imply, correlation, unintentionally. So credible, you all have a debit card, right? Or credit, you have a loan. So that comes from the word to believe, credible. And this, remember, is able, but for pronunciation it became credible, able to believe. The next word, imply, you don't directly say it. Correlation, so let's make a word. Relation, okay, remember when you work together with somebody, it's your coworker, so we're just going to add another R here for pronunciation, and we have correlation. So there's some kind of relationship. That's what that word is. And unintentionally, un means not. So you didn't do it on purpose. It's unintentionally, you did it. On page 133, this shows a graph of before they understood that bacteria cause diseases. And unfortunately, it's showing the people who died during a war. And during a war, you expect a lot of people to die from guns and knives and fighting, but it will show you that most people died from disease because they didn't have very good sanitation and they didn't know about the bacteria. So that's something on page 133. Then we have painting with numbers, showing how that colors can mean things. Page 134, there's a little bit more vocabulary for your video. So we'll go over the pronunciation for that. We're on page 134. Plot, incidents, angles, strategy. You'll be reading a movie, or watching a movie actually, called Painting with Numbers. If you cannot find it on my ELT, you don't have my ELT, just Google National Geographic to watch the movie. And I'm going to make another video a little bit later in the week when we start the next part of the chapter. I started a discussion section for your Canvas, but it doesn't seem to be too active today. We'll see. I also would like to put up a chat section. So I will be making another video a little bit later this week. If you have questions, remember you can email me, put it on discussions. I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. Very sorry that I'm not actually talking to you in the class, but you understand the situation. So I hope that very soon we'll be back together in the classroom. But until then, take care of your families. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.